How you doing, guys? Today we are going to talk about the Kohler rebuild kits that you see on eBay for, I would say, a reasonable price compared to what the original Kohler parts are. Now, the kit that I bought is one of the, I guess, the more expensive kits because it came with the valves. But this is just a general review of the kit. This has nothing to do with the sellers on eBay. So if you sell these kits on eBay, I'm not complaining about you. I'm actually not even going to really complain about anything, to be honest with you. The individual that I bought it from, or the company I bought it from off of eBay, shipped this thing out, and I had it basically in like 3 days. And you can't complain about that. I mean, you really can't when you can get things that fast. So this was $114 with the parts that you see here. The parts over here are not part of the rebuild kit that you get on eBay, and I'll talk about those in a second. But essentially, you get a rod, you get a piston, you get a set of rings, points, spark plug, set of valves, and a gasket kit, a complete gasket kit. I opted for a standard rod and a 20 over piston. The Kohler that I'm rebuilding is a Magnum 10, also known as a 241 K series. I went with a 20 over because this is actually a 301 block, so I could actually bore it out to 12 horsepower. But just to make sure everything is nice and clean, I ordered a 20 over piston. The piston in general is very nice. It's a cast aluminum piston. It is 20 over. It did come with the wrist pin and new clips, both of which are sealed. I forgot to bring them down. They're of average quality. I didn't see any issues with it. When you compare this piston to a stock Kohler piston, or at least the piston that came out of this motor, there's only one difference, and that is this webbing right here. The webbing on these like support bars that stick out, they're a little bit smaller on this Repro piston compared to the Kohler one. The Kohler one's a little thicker. But other than that, the land grooves are all in the same position. They're all the same size. This Repro piston does not have as many oil holes as the stock piston or the Kohler piston. I don't know if that's going to make a big deal or not, because basically it's going to get splashed with oil no matter what. But everything is real nice. The faces are real nice. The top is smooth. So in general, I don't see an issue with running this piston. The rod. Oh, by the way, and when you take a look at the part number here, this 236747, I did look it up, Googled it, and it does come back as a rotary part. The boxes, you will see if you order one of these kits, don't have the company that made the part, the name. So this one happened to be a rotary 20 over piston for a Kohler. So by the part number, I'm assuming, and we all know what that means when we assume, that this is a rotary piston. Like I said, I ordered a standard rod. I haven't opened up the packages. The number here on the rod is a K1010, as well as the box number of 236763. That came back as a Stens part online. And the images on Google, Stens rod has this symbol, which you probably can't see because of the bag, and the K1010. So in this case, I'm calling this a Stens rod. All the faces look real good. Everything looks real nice. Obviously, I haven't mic'd it, but it's a standard rod, and I highly doubt that it's fluctuated from stock huge. One thing of note, these rods come with a full-length dipper, so if you're going to run a smaller oil pan like I am going to have to nip the end of the dipper down. But there is the rod. Comes with a set of instructions on how to put it together, but compared to the stock rod, visually, the only thing that's really different is you got this number casted in it, and the end of the rod has these little injection areas, these like injection part, you know, where they injected the aluminum. But overall, looks like a high quality part. Everything looks like it fits together pretty well. So we're gonna run it, you know, and these rods are what, 75 bucks on eBay for a Kohler rod. Sorry, for a Kohler rod, it's like 75 bucks. 20 over pistons are over 150 bucks. So, I mean, if you're gonna do it, the rings. This is exactly how the rings came, in a plastic bag, and there's no markings on the rings whatsoever. There's no, they didn't come in a box. They didn't come with any markings. This is exactly how they came. Now, I haven't shoved them into the bore yet or anything like that, but I really wish they would have come with some kind of part number, or even now I pretty much know how these rings go in, but they didn't even come with directions on which ring is the top ring, the bottom ring. And if you don't know in general, you know, it's just something that you're gonna have to look up online. This was the only thing that made me say a little iffy about this kit, was just, it's just a set of rings thrown in a plastic bag. I don't know. That's just my initial review on that. That was like, you know, at least that came in a box with the wrist pin. The wrist pin's all nice and sealed up. The clips are all sealed up real nice. The rod comes in the bag. It's all sealed up real nice. And it's like these guys just said, oh, he pulled his ham sandwich out of his bag and then threw the ring set in there. So, but what have you. Points come with the kit, obviously with the Magnum motor. I'm not going to use that, but they are of Chinese brand. Again, they came sealed in this package. Visually, they look about the same as a set of Kohlers, but I probably would run an original Kohler set if I could find a set, because this looks a little too Chinesey for me. They sent you an Insta Fire spark plug. Again, spark plug visually looks like a spark plug. Come on. I mean, it just looks like a spark plug to me. Me being the kind of person that I am, you can see the gap is like way wrong. It's not even close. So I probably would get a Champion H10 like the motor is originally designed. The gasket kit. The gasket kit is a standard gasket kit. It's got everything that you need to regasket a K-series or a Magnum. It does come with the seals. The seals are actually kind of cool. Let's see if I can get this out without destroying everything real quick, because it is a honest to goodness NGK seal, both of them. So these are actually pretty good quality, high quality seals. And I mean, the gasket set itself, I think, is in great. You know, it's a great thing. Again, comes with the part number. I wasn't able to. It says assembled in the United States, whatever the heck that means. But you know, overall, the gasket kit looks like a high quality paper kit. The valves were a sticking point with me. Again, a valve. You know, the valve. This is the exhaust valve, actually. It was just thrown into this paper package. Again, it's correct size. It's all the specs are correct. But again, no part number, no nothing. It says exhaust EX on the top. There's no markings on it. So to try to narrow it down to who made it, I don't know. The intake does have a number, the 232830. It does compute out to a Stens valve. Again, good quality valve, but as always, there's a questionable aspect of it, and here it is. I don't know, I haven't opened up the packages yet, but the ends of the valves are different. This one's real flat. This one has a taper. I guess it probably does not make a material difference at all, but it just comes across really kind of weird. I'm sure there isn't an issue whatsoever with that, but in my case, that's what came. So in general, that is my review of the kit. I think the kit is a good buy for $114. It does come with a lot of good parts, like it comes with the seals, it comes with a rod, it comes with a good piston. They all look like they're in good quality shape, or good quality products, I should say. Things that are iffy: the ring set and the lunch bag. The points from China. This off-brand spark plug, which I guess doesn't make much of a difference, but that's kind of weird. And the valves, they have the mismatch ends, and this valve, God knows where it came from. So I guess that's it. Overall, it seems like a pretty good kit. Gets you at least this and this. A piston of various sizes, you know, from standard to 30 over, and a rod, you know, standard to 10, whatever you need. That alone for 114 bucks. They're cheaper without the valves. I think they're like $70 or $80. That's and with the gasket kit being complete, those three there, I think for like the $70 is definitely a good buy. Now we're going to talk about the parts in the corner. Okay, after banging my tripod and moving the parts over, here are the parts that I bought outside of the rebuild kit. One thing I did, as you probably saw in my prior video when I was lapping the valves, I did invest in a set of Kohler valves. Got these for maybe just a few dollars more, probably like $4 more than what I paid for extra for the valves in the kit. So I would, in my opinion, go ahead and not buy the valves from the kit. Just buy the piston, the rod, the gasket kit, and get yourself a set of original Kohler valves. They're not that expensive if you look around. OPE Engines has them for like 10 bucks a piece, $20. Those valves, brand new, or excuse me, the aftermarket valves, they're ranging from $20 to $30. So I still think, or it's my opinion, go with the Kohler valves. Kohler Ring Set. I ended up getting a 30 over ring set for this motor in the event that those lunch bag rings don't work out in the bore like I want it to work out. These are 30 over. I will just end gap them to the bore if I need to. So although those come with the kit, no matter what, whichever kit you buy, you get the rings. You may want to think about investing in a set of Kohler rings. These were cheap. I think I paid $15. I think I paid $15 for these. Again, off of eBay. Kohler rebuild kit for the carburetor. It's the only way to go. The China kits, for me, never seem to run right. Dirt cheap. I think I paid $8 for those. Before I do that, the ignition module. Now this you need for a Magnum motor. Again, it's a Felton's. Looks good. I mean, it's just an ignition module. The bars, everything looks real nice. It's not squishy, and I didn't pay a whole lot for it. I think I paid like $24 for this. So again, not in the rebuild kit, but you know, eBay part, and there's the part number. Good quality part. Looking, I don't foresee any issue with that. The other thing I bought aftermarket is a new stator. This is obviously an aftermarket stator. It's not a Kohler stator. One of the big things you'll notice is the thickness of the wire. This wire is basically like telephone, I mean like outside the house on the poles kind of thickness. I mean, this stuff is ridiculous. But looks like a good quality part. Nice wires, nice ends. Everything seems to be in place. It's got good solid clippage, so the wire is not going to be pulling and tugging. It has all the correct mounting holes, seems to fit the bearing plate real nice and fit within the flywheel without much issue with the magnets. So, you know, cheap, a lot cheaper than a Kohler part, and visually looks like a good part, and we'll see how it works out once we hook it all up. I got a fuel pump. Now, I know there's really not a lot of offerings for the fuel pump for a Kohler engine, K-Series, Magnum, what have you, but I gotta tell you, this thing is a piece of shit. This is the chintziest damn thing I've ever seen. I'm hoping that it will run, it'll work, and we'll go from there. But really, there's not a lot of offerings. I think I paid 14 bucks for it on eBay also. So that's my review of all these parts. Hopefully you found it interesting. I tried to keep it as short as possible without boring you to death. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them in below. And thank you very much. Have a good day. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Talk to you soon. Just when you thought it was over. The more I look at these lunch bag piston rings from the set, from the eBay replacement set, the more I'm not liking them. And here's the reason why. Your standard ring set for a Kohler, roughly, is the top. This would be the piston side. This would be your bore side. The top ring has the little notch, goes towards the piston. You have the scraper ring, or the middle ring. It's usually like this, in this fashion in design. Then your bottom ring, which is your oil control ring. You have the two thin rings, and then the spring ring goes in the center. When I looked at the rings that I got, the oil control ring looks fine. That doesn't. This particular ring, and I don't think my camera's going to be able to show this, but there's the little groove. This right there, this part right there. That's right there. You can see it. And this is the chrome one, so this would be typically thought of as the top ring, I guess. Now this would be the second ring, or the middle ring. It is exactly the same as the top ring. It's just got this little groove. It doesn't have this scraper design. This outer like ledge. Oops, sorry. This outer ledge thing. So it doesn't have that little edge. So it's not a scraper ring, it's just another compression ring without a chrome outer edge. Something to think about, guys. I am most likely going to use my original Kohler set on this motor, but reinstall and end gapping to come. But more food for thought on these aftermarket ring sets. Thanks, guys.